You knew this whole time. I knew enough, and now you do too. So be careful who you share it with. Meanwhile, Sheriff Briggs followed a new trail. Forensics confirmed Richard's prints were on the revolver, but so were Rachel's. That complicated things. He met Rachel at the courthouse in Greenville, cornering her near the probate office. Care to explain why your prints are on the murder weapon? Rachel didn't flinch. He asked me to clean out the cabinet last week. Said he didn't trust Luke with anything sharp. Did you? I did what he asked. Then I put it back, locked it up myself. Briggs studied her. You knew he was rewriting the will. Rachel, where were you the night before he died? She smirked. Everyone knew. He waved it like a weapon. He added Avery as primary, took the land away from Daniel, left me a trust I'd have to beg to access. He was punishing all of us in different ways. What changed? Rachel's smile faded. Briggs stared at her for a long moment. She didn't answer right away. I was here in the house like everyone else. But her eyes betrayed something. A shift, a tremble. Briggs made a note. Back at Willow Bluff, Avery met with Luke. I think we're all sitting on dynamite, she said. He snorted. That's not news. What's the fuse? I think it's me. Luke studied her. You're not the killer. No, but I'm the reason he changed the will. Luke leaned forward. Why? Because I knew. Because he wanted to buy my silence. And when I wouldn't play along, he tried to control everything from the grave. This family has buried too many truths. I won't let it bury another. She handed Luke the tape. He listened, pale by the end. The family around her, eyes wide, voices rising. We have to go to Briggs, he said. Avery nodded, but we need to tell Grandma first. That evening, Miriam sat at the head of the dining table. The tape had been played. The truth was out. The house at Willow Bluff sat a little quieter, a little heavier. Rachel was white with fury, but the killer still wore a familiar face. You expect us to believe this, that Dad? He said it, Luke cut in. He spelled it out. You're just angry it wasn't you in the will. Avery stood on the front porch, watching the horizon blur into mist. The weight in her chest hadn't lessened. If anything, the revelations had only deepened the ache. Miriam raised her voice, stronger than anyone expected. The probate judge had signed off. They were going through every inch of Richard's estate, every drawer, every deed. I run when I'm finished wasting time. The vultures can fight over the scraps. I'm done. Enough, she snapped. That land was mine before he changed the will. You think I didn't know what he was planning? Alone. He hated all of us. A shoebox tucked behind the horse tack, wrapped in faded newspaper. Inside letters, dozens of them. Especially you, Avery. That's why he gave you the damn burden. To punish us by making you the gatekeeper. She turned to Avery. One envelope was thicker, sealed, marked in Calvin's handwriting. To Avery Tanner. You did right by bringing this forward. If anything happens to me, your granddaughter will find it. Then to Rachel. And if you did have anything to do with his death, you better pray for forgiveness. Rachel stood. This is a farce. I'm calling my lawyer. And with that, she stormed out. A hand-drawn boundary line, a copy of the original land deed. Avery turned to Briggs. I want to give a full statement. Later that night, as the crickets resumed their quiet hymn and the river rolled on undisturbed, that leaves the real question. The truth had come halfway out, and in the shadows of the barn, a single voice whispered into a cell phone. It's not over. She doesn't know everything. Not yet. The final cost rain fell the next morning. A slow, steady drizzle that turned the red dirt roads to syrup and painted Willow Bluff in hues of sorrow. Sheriff Briggs returned just after 9, this time with an arrest warrant, not for a killer but for documents. The initials on the back match one person here. Inside, Rachel was already packing. Suitcases lined the hallway, her voice echoing off the high ceilings as she barked instructions to her assistant over the phone. You don't run when you're innocent, Luke muttered from the bottom of the stairs. It had dried blood inside. Human. Matching Richard's. A locket. Tarnished silver. Rachel didn't turn around. You never wanted the land, Miriam said, appearing from the sitting room. Rachel spun. Avery stepped forward, trembling. "You think this was a reward?" Rachel's voice cracked. "It was a curse." Sheriff Briggs cleared his throat. "Let's finish the paperwork. Then I want to speak with everyone again." He was going to confess about Calvin, sell the land, and donate the rest to some environmental trust. I couldn't let him destroy everything he built, everything we bled for. So when he left the gun on the desk, I made a decision, said it was penance, said he was tired of carrying the guilt. Then explain how your locket got into the vent and why your phone pinged off the tower by the study 30 minutes before the 911 call. Your mother gave it to you when you were born. Hours later, in the barn, away from the noise, Avery found something she hadn't seen since childhood, all addressed to Richard, all from Calvin Ross. The last one read, "You can't hide what you did forever. I've got the deed. I've got the dates." Avery dropped the letter as if it burned. Her heart raced. She scanned the box. She opened it with shaking hands. Inside, a map and a photo of Richard, kept just enough to restore the house. Standing with Shane Worth, they were shaking hands over a fire barrel, something burning inside it. By late afternoon, the clouds broke. Sheriff Briggs sat with Avery in the study, the last of the evidence spread before them. "Worth lied," Avery said. "He knew Richard, knew about the land sales. Calvin tried to stop them." Briggs nodded slowly. "And someone silenced him for it. But Worth's got alibis and Richard's dead. Who wanted to make sure I never saw that box?" At dinner, the family gathered once more. Plates clinked in uneasy rhythm. Briggs stood. "I have one more thing to ask." He pulled a small item from his coat. "We found this in the study's air vent. It was wedged in deep." He turned the locket. The engraving read, "LRT." Luke froze. "That's not mine," he said quickly. "But it is," Miriam said softly. Briggs stepped forward. Avery's eyes widened. "But Luke—" "I didn't shoot him," Luke said, standing. "I swear to God." Briggs held his hand up. Luke looked at Daniel, and Daniel stood. "He didn't kill him." All eyes turned. Daniel's voice shook. "I did." Gasps erupted. Miriam sank into her chair. Avery stared, numb. Daniel continued. "He was going to cut us all out, not just the will, everything." Tears welled in his eyes. Silence hung like thunder. Luke whispered, "You let me take the heat. You let them suspect me." "I was going to come forward," Daniel said, "after the will cleared, after I secured what was left." Avery stepped forward. "You killed him for money." "No," Daniel said. "I killed him for the family." Briggs stepped forward. "Daniel Tanner, you're under arrest for the murder of Richard Tanner." The days that followed were quiet. Rachel left, vanished from Alabama, selling her shares to Worth in exchange for silence. Miriam retreated into the church, rarely speaking. Luke disappeared, riding west with nothing but a duffel bag and a busted guitar. And Avery stayed. She stood beneath the pecan trees, watching the land shift with the seasons. She finalized the will, sold a portion of the back acreage to conservationists, donated half the insurance to a local school fund. At night, she'd sit on the dock by the river where the water rolled on, uncaring, eternal. And some nights, she'd whisper aloud, "Grandpa, I hope you're watching. I hope you see what your legacy became." Then she'd close her eyes and listen to the river.